welcome back to 6th ICSE Biology classes. So children, in our previous session we were discussing about the digestive system in men. So the digestive system in the men consists of mouth. So in the mouth it leads to the mouth cavity or the buccal cavity. Then from the mouth it goes to the pharynx. So pharynx, it is a common passage for the digestive system and the respiratory system. The food in the mouth is called as bolus, right? Then bolus comes here to the pharynx, then it comes to the esophagus. So in the esophagus, due to the peristalsis movement, the food will be pushed into the next part of the digestive system, that is into the stomach. In the stomach, the gastric glands are present which secretes the gastric juice, and this gastric juice secretes the enzyme called as the pepsin and the renin, and we also studied what are the functions, and it also secretes the hydrochloric acid as well as the mucus. So here in the stomach, the food is semi-digested or partially digested. So the protein digestion, it begins in the stomach, whereas the digestion of the carbohydrate or the starch will begins in the mouth. So here only a part of the starch or the carbohydrate will get converted into the maltose by the action of an enzyme ptyalin. So only a part will be get converted, and when it comes to the stomach, so in the stomach the digestion of the protein will begins. Here it is semi-digested, and that food which is semi-digested now called as a chyme. Then the chyme will be passes to the small intestine. Now in the small intestine there are three parts are there. One is, the first one is the duodenum, ileum and the jejunum. So what are the three parts of the small intestine? Duodenum, ileum and the jejunum. So duodenum is the upper part of the small intestine. So we studied that when the food from the stomach will comes to the small intestine, so it is a highly coiled structure. When the food is in the duodenum, at that time liver will secretes the bile juice, and the pancreas, which is situated below the stomach in the abdominal cavity, it secretes the pancreatic juice. So by the action of the bile juice and the pancreatic juice, here the digestion will be takes place, right? So the food is completely digested in the small intestine. So when the food comes to the ileum, the intestine will secretes a intestinal juice. What is that juice? It is called as what? Succus entericus. So this is succus entericus. It is an intestinal juice. It contains the enzyme, right? I told you how to remember the name of the enzyme. So you have to remember the mnemonics called tears of leaf. Tears of leaf shown by man. So here by this mnemonic you can remember the enzyme. So T, it is what? Trypsin. So this trypsin converts the peptones into, or the peptides into the amino acid, right? And then leaf. So from the leaf, L, right? So L, lactase. So this enzyme converts the lactose. It converts the lactose into glucose, right? It converts the lactase, it converts the lactose into the glucose and the galactose, right? So next one is the shown. So shown, it is what? The sucrase, from the S, from the letter S, it is a sucrase. So sucrase converts what? It converts the sucrose into glucose and fructose, right? And the last comes what? Yum. So from mam, the first letter is the yum. So yum is what? Maltase. So this maltase, it converts maltose into glucose, right? And I told that in these three the glucose will be the common, right? And I told you to remember It is by SF. SF means what here? So this sucrose will get converted into glucose plus fructose. And here in case of the maltose, it is what? Here it is Mg. So what is this maltose? Will get converted into maltose. Maltase converts the maltose into the glucose and the glucose. And lactase converts what? It converts the lactose into glucose and galactose. So you can remember this one by the Lg. So Lg, we know that it is a TV, right? So in both all in these three, the glucose will be the common. So here it comes galactose, here it comes glucose plus fructose, and here the glucose plus glucose, right? So these are the enzymes which are secreted by the sucrase entericus, right? So this is about the small intestine. So in the small intestine, the food is completely digested. Now after the digestion, in the small intestine, the finger-like structures are present which are called as the villi. So these villi help in the absorption of the food. So this is the structure of the villi, right? So these villi are having the blood capillaries, right? So these are the what? The blood capillaries. So these finger-like structures will help in the absorption of the digested food and also provides a large surface area for the absorption. So that is the function of the villi. So here the one question arises which is most commonly asked, name the finger-like structures present in the small intestine. So which are those finger-like projections? Those are the villi which help in the absorption of the food, right? Now from the small intestine, the food is now absorbed and get assimilated, right? When it flows into the bloodstream, then with the help of the lymphatic or the lymph, it will be transported to all the parts of the body. Now the undigested food is passed to the another part of the digestive system that is called as the large intestine. Now the large intestine. So the large intestine, it contains the undigested food. It contains mainly the undigested food. The large intestine again has the three parts. Which are those? Those are caecum, colon and rectum. So these you need to remember what are the three parts of the large intestine. In the same way in the small intestine also it is divided into three parts. Which are the parts of the small intestine? Yes, that is duodenum, ileum and the jejunum. These are the parts of the small intestine, right? So here the upper part is called as the duodenum and this is called as the jejunum and ileum and then the jejunum. In the same way, the large intestine is also divided into the three parts, that is caecum, right? It is what? Caecum, then colon and the rectum. Now, so this part, this is called as what? The large intestine. So in the large intestine, so here this part is called as what? The caecum, right? So this part is the caecum, whereas here if you see this one, so this part inside this one, this is called as what? The colon, and this part is called as the rectum, right? So this part is called as the rectum. So it contains caecum, colon and the rectum. So one more time I will show you. So this part is called as the caecum and this one is called as what? The colon, and this is the rectum. So this rectum is the temporary storage of the feces. So the undigested food here comes into the large intestine. Now in the large intestine, whatever the water is present, the water and some of the salt, water and some of the minerals and the salt will be absorbed from the undigested food, and after that, undigested food will convert into the solid feces, and that solid feces will goes into the rectum. So it will be stored temporarily in the rectum and finally excreted out through the anus. And the process of removing the undigested food from the anus is called as the egestion. So in this way the digestion will be takes place in the human beings. So children, we know that during the digestion, right, so carbohydrate, finally the carbohydrates get converted into the carbohydrates, they get converted into the glucose, right, then proteins, first they will get converted into the peptones or into the peptides, then they get converted into the amino acid, and the fats will get converted into the fatty acids or into the glycerol. Now the glucose which is formed during the digestion, how much glucose is required to our body will be get utilized by the body cells, whereas the extra glucose will be stored in the form of glycogen, right. So the extra glucose will be stored in the form of glycogen in the liver, So this point is very important. In the animals, the extra glucose will be stored in the form of glycogen. And where does this glycogen will be stored? The glycogen is stored in the liver, right. So it means that during the starvation or when you remains hungry for a longer period, at that time the glucose will not produced in our body, and we know that the glucose is the energy, it provides the energy. At that time when you are not consuming the food, then the glucose is not produced. When the glucose is not provided, then what about the energy? At that time the energy will be supplied to the body cell by the glycogen. What is glycogen? It is nothing but stored glucose. That is called as what? Glycogen. At that time when our body cells needs the glucose, at that time the glycogen will be break down and converts into the glucose and fulfill the requirement of the glucose, and our body will get the energy. And that is the reason that if you will not eat for a day also, then also you can sustain or you will not die, right? Because why? The stored glucose or the glycogen will supply the glucose to us, right? And the excess of the amino acids, same here also, how much amount of the protein or the amino acids are required for the body, for the functioning of the body, that will be get utilized, and the excess of the amino acid, right? So this excess of the amino acid will be utilized for the formation of the protoplasm, right? So where it is get utilized? It is get utilized in the formation of the protoplasm. So actually what is this protoplasm? So protoplasm, it is nothing but the fluid or the liquid which is present in the cell, right? So might be children, you remember while you are studying about the structure of the cell, right? So in the structure of the cell we have studied that at the center we are having the nucleus, right? And inside the nucleus the fluid is present which is called as what? Nucleoplasm, right? And here inside the cell there is a fluid which is present and that is called as cytoplasm, right? So this you know, already we have studied this one. Now protoplasm, it means that it is cytoplasm plus nucleoplasm, right? So together Together it is called as what? The protoplasm. And this protoplasm is the site for all the metabolic activities. And how does it is formed? It is formed by the excess of the amino acids. So that amino acids, so some of the amino acid will utilized for the formation of the protoplasm. And sometimes these excess of the amino acid will get converted into the ammonia. Where does it converted? It get converted into the ammonia. So this ammonia is a toxic substance. It is a toxic substance. It has to be released. It has to be excreted from the body. So this ammonia will combines with the carbon dioxide. It will combines with the carbon dioxide and forming the urea. And what does it forms? It forms the urea, right? And this urea will be excreted out by the kidneys. Right here, so the some of the amino acid will be utilized for the formation of the protoplasm, right? And some of the amino acid will break down and forms the ammonia, and this ammonia will combines with the carbon dioxide and forms the urea, and this urea will be excreted out. So this will happens in the liver. Right. So in the liver, this ammonia will combines with carbon dioxide forming the urea, and this will transport it to the kidney for the excretion. Right. So some will be utilized for the protoplasm. So some of the amino acid will be break down to form the ammonia. Right. And this is very toxic in the nature, whereas this urea is a less toxic. Both are toxic in the nature, no doubt, but it is more toxic in the nature. And this is less toxic in the nature, and hence has to be removed from the body, and it is removed by the kidneys. And the excess of the fatty acids, right? So these fat or the fatty acid will be stored in the adipose tissue. So what is adipose tissue? So the excess of the fats or the fatty acid will forms the adipose tissue, and this adipose tissue is a shock absorber. It acts as a shock absorber, and it protects the vital organs of the body, right? So this will happen after the digestion. Okay, so there are some disorders which are related to the digestive system. So when we consume a lot of spicy food, the junk foods like bread, chocolates and all, right? So when you consume a lot of the junk foods, then the spicy food, at that time there is a indigestion, and there is a disorders which are related to the digestive system. So one of the disorders, that is the constipation and the ulcer. So generally the constipation, it is nothing but removing, so the person will suffers, or the person will have a lot of pain while excreting the fecal matter. At that time it is called as what? Constipation. And the another disease which is called, another disorder, it is called as what? Ulcer. And here if you see, so this part of the large intestine is a rectum. And if you see here, there is some extra projection is there, right? So this is called as the appendix, right? What do you call this one? So this extra projection is there, so that is called as what? Appendix. Might be have heard the person who is suffering from the appendix, right? So obviously they are also having a lot of unbearable pain. So what is the reason that for the appendix? So generally due to any reason, right? So this portion or this appendix will be get swollen. Swollen means it will be grows into the size, it becomes bigger. So when it becomes bigger or the swollen, then at that time, so it has to adjust the space, right? And due to that, a person will have the unbearable pain. So appendix, it is nothing but what? It is the swelling or the swelling of the part which is present is called as what? In the digestive system is called as the appendix. So at that time the doctors generally, if it is severe at that time, they will cut this part, and if they cut this part, it does not affect the digestive system. In the large intestine, so this portion is a rectum, the another part of the large intestine is having this projection. This is called as appendix. Even though if it is cut by the surgery, it do not affects the digestive system, because this appendix is a vestigial organ, right? What is this? This is the vestigial organ. Vestigial organ means what? So this organ, see, already we studied about the digestive system, right? All the parts of the digestive system. In all this one, did you heard about the appendix? Did I told anything about the appendix? No. This appendix do not participate in the digestive system in any way, right? In any way. So it is the vestigial organ. It do not require to the body. Hence, even though if it is cut it down by the surgery, then it do not affect the digestive system. So right, so children, up to now we studied about the digestive system, right? In your textbook they have separately mentioned the relationship between the stomach, duodenum, liver and the pancreas. So already while explaining the digestive system, I told you about the digestive glands, right? So what are the digestive glands here? So already we discussed. So in a very short way I will tell. So what are the digestive gland? So one is what? The salivary gland. So already you know that what it does secretes, what are the enzymes. So already we discussed this one. So salivary glands. So here in the gastric glands or the stomach, right? So here the stomach or the gastric glands, then liver and the pancreas. So already in detail we have studied about all these glands. So now let's discuss some of the healthy food habits. So in the healthy food habits, we have to consume the nutritional, or we can say that a balanced food. So balanced food, it means that it should contains all the nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, vitamins, minerals, all in the adequate manner, or all these nutrients should be present in the proper quantity. So we should consume the nutritional or the balanced food. We should avoid eating the junk foods, right? And we should not eat more spicy food. We have to exercise daily, and we should eat properly cooked food, right? We should eat properly cooked food. So right, so these are some healthy food habits. So you can write it by your own also, right? So now we'll discuss what are the unhealthy food habits. So as you know that in the unhealthy food habits, we should not skip the breakfast, right? And we should not talk while we are eating. Then eating a lot, we have to drink a plenty of water, right? So these are the some things or some of the unhealthy food habits. What is those? That is skipping the breakfast, eating during the other activities, eating large amount of the food in one sitting, and the emotional eating. So all these are the unhealthy food habits, right? So now just write down your homework. So in your textbook they have given the activity, right? Activity 5, which is on page number 53. So in that activity they have given one of the project, right? What are the causes of the digestion? So children, read these causes of causes of indigestion and write the note on this indigestion. In your this you need to write this in your homework book, right? So please read it and then make a list of these things. Thank you children.